Hello, I'm doing a movie review, and the movie I want to review is the 1973 Spanish horror film Return of the Blind Dead, better known as Return of the Evil Dead. However, this has no relation to the Sam Raimi film, which came out less than 10 years later. Now, the film's original Spanish title actually translates to Attack of the Eyeless Dead. Now, the film was written and directed by Amando de Ossorio and is a sequel to his 1972 film, Tombs of the Blind Dead. Now, I have the movie on the Blind Dead DVD set from Blue Underground. Now, the DVD on this set comes with two versions of the film, the original Spanish version and an English version. If you get this, I recommend watching the Spanish cut, only because that's the more complete version, as long as you don't mind reading subtitles, because the English version does cut out a lot of scenes. Now, I enjoyed Tombs of the Blind Dead quite a bit, but I actually think Return of the Evil Dead improves upon the first one in a lot of ways, and I think this is probably the best of the Blind Dead franchise. Now, the film has no real continuity with the first one. It's almost more of a remake than a direct sequel. Now, the plot of Return of the Evil Dead is in the 13th century, this village executed these Templar Knights who worshipped the devil by burning them alive, but not before they blinded them. So now it's the 500th anniversary of the village's victory over the Knights, and they're having a big celebration. So this fireworks technician comes in to help them with the fireworks display, but it turns out that this guy previously had a relationship with the mayor's fiancé, which does not bode well for the town's mayor, who basically runs the town like a mob boss. Meanwhile, this creepy guy from the village, who is considered to be the village idiot, he ends up killing a young girl as a sacrifice to bring the Templar Knights back from hell. So the Knights end up coming back from the dead as zombies, and they terrorize the village, and the story culminates in several of the characters having to hole up in this church to hide out from the Blind Dead. The movie features Tony Kendall as Jack Marlowe, who is ostensibly the hero of the film. Esperanza Roy, if I'm saying her name right, plays the character of Vivian, who is the mayor's fiancé and is Marlowe's ex-girlfriend, and the romance between them is cliched, but it works for the movie. Fernando Sancho plays the mayor, who is basically the main human villain of the film, and this guy is a real piece of shit. There's actually a scene towards the end of the movie where he actually tries to sacrifice a little girl in order to escape from the Blind Dead, so he is a completely irredeemable character, but luckily he gets his comeuppance at the end of the film. José Canalejas, whose name I'm probably not saying properly, he plays the character of Myrtle, who is the one who resurrects the Blind Dead, at least in the Spanish cut. In the English version, they cut out the scene where he sacrifices the girl to bring the Blind Dead to life, but in the Spanish version, you realize that what's happening in the movie is basically his fault. The movie also features several cast members from the first movie playing different characters in this film. For example, Lone Fleming, who played Betty in the first movie, plays a character named Amelia in this film. Francisco Sanz, who played the professor in the first movie who explained the legend of the Blind Dead, he plays a train station manager in this film. José Thelman, who played Pedro in the first movie, plays a very similar character in this movie. But yeah, I highly recommend Return of the Evil Dead. Once again, I think it's better than the first one, to be honest. Like, it has the same eerie tone and atmosphere as the first film, but in my opinion, just ups the ante and really does improve upon a lot of things that were established in the first film. And the scenes where you see the Blind Dead attack at the festival and you see the people fighting back are so well done, and it's not just a really good horror horror sequence, but action sequence as well. The movie does have some scenes of humor, which might be a little misplaced, but I still laughed at them. Like, there are a few scenes in the movie as the Blind Dead are attacking the festival where the mayor is trying to call the governor so he could get the army in there to help them, and the governor is having none of it. Like, he thinks the mayor is fucking with him, and the governor is with this woman, and I'm not sure if it's his wife or his mistress or something, but it's a woman who's significantly younger than him, and the whole time he's talking to the mayor, he's like checking out the woman's ass. Now, I don't know this for sure, but I noticed some subtle similarities between this and Miguel Suave's 1989 film, The Church, which is sometimes considered to be part of the Demons series. Like, both movies deal with the characters getting trapped in a church, both deal with the Templar Knights, and in this movie there's a scene where two characters try to escape from the church through an underground tunnel, and it doesn't end well for them, and there's a very, very similar scene in the church, and I have a feeling, and again, I can't confirm it, but I think Miguel Suave might have been a fan of this movie. But yeah, that was my review on Return of the Blind Dead, or Return of the Evil Dead, and my next movie review will be on the third film of the Blind Dead series, The Ghost Galleon, also known as Horror of the Zombies.